Hello everyone and welcome to this very unique and special episode of Blaze World. Got myself Danny, got Luke.
Morning.
And we just thought we'd get together and have a little chit chat about Blaze, hockey and how the season's going so far to an extent.
Yeah.
So we were kind of talking about this last night, what we wanted to do, how we wanted to kind of the episode to go, what we kind of wanted to go around discussing. I think we kind of put together a bit of itinerary, which I've got on my phone here.
Yeah.
So I suppose do it in any order we want, but we can really start it. I'll put it down as number 2, but it doesn't matter. Best and worst moments of the season so far. So, this could be your best goal that you've seen so far this year, the best atmosphere, best performance as a team or an individual. Worst result, worst individual mistake, frustrating game, something along those lines, just to put the context obviously out there for you guys to see obviously what we want to discuss. So best or worst moment, I suppose we'll say, of the season so far.
Probably start with the best.
No, you've got to start with the best.
Yeah, we'll pick it up with the best because we don't want to start all doom and gloom.
No.
So the best, for me, the best, it's toughy really because there's been a few occasions what I've enjoyed, but people are probably going to have different opinions, aren't they, on what we're going to have as our best and our worst moments. But probably the best for me personally was just because we haven't been in a semi-final for a while, just getting into the semis of the Challenge Cup for me was a good moment. Like I've said it probably all season, it was just a great night when we were in Nottingham.
Yeah, it was.
Even though we only needed the point. And I don't think some people actually understood in the crowd that we only needed the point. Yeah. Like I think we were only the ones. We got up and we were like,
yeah, we were,
because it was what was it like? Did they score? Nottingham scored in the last 44 seconds.
Yeah, we were winning, weren't we? If I recall, and it meant that we were basically going through at that point regardless.
And we were winning 2-1, weren't we?
We were winning 2-1, I believe, and then they scored. I can't remember if it was in 44 seconds to go, but it was within the last. It was in the dying embers of the game anyway.
They equalised.
Yeah, they equalised. And it was then, we saw the game out. That was it. It was going to overtime to see who got the extra point. Obviously, they went on to get the extra point. But at that point, we already knew we were secure and we were through. And there was no issue.
It was just a good game. The game was really encouraging for them to see where we were going through a bit of a bad patch. And we weren't playing at the, what we normally would play.
Yeah.
And I came away from that game smiling, even though we lost.
Yeah.
Technically, we lost, but we got through to the next round. And personally, that game was great because the fight, you seen that they were all fighting for it. But then it's really hard. Like, this is where we've got to be careful because there is other moments what have been good. But this is just from my personal opinion that it was not only just the game, the night out was a bit of a good laugh because we met up with a few Panthers fans. I saw some friends I haven't saw for a while, having a bit of banter with them, and I was determined before that game. I says, we'll win this. Yeah. We've got to win at some point in Nottingham. So, but to come away with a point and the view we had was great. Yeah. The game that we had a good laugh. So I think for me personally,
from the view over the side.
Yeah, for me personally, that was pretty horrible because I don't like heights. But personally, that was a really good night for me, and it was an away game, and I like going to Nottingham. Well.
Yeah, we normally not that we don't see Sam outside of the Sky, and we do.
Yeah,
but normally it's in a setting where we're not doing some sort of content and what have you.
It was nice.
You said about it because it was literally what. If it's it was there after my birthday in October,
it was
22nd. So you said about we'll go up. I said that's fine. We went up. Sam was there and his family, so it was a good night out.
It was a good night.
And nice to see the away fans, the way that they are as well. Because obviously doing away games previously is great, but seeing it now being kind of involved.
It's how we were treated after the game by the fans. Like when we were trying to find our taxi out, we had some fans directing us. We had
they were like, go down here,
go down here, do this, and we got directed. But then they all came up to us and says, look, you deserve to win that game. And I said, well, too right, and to come away, with the loss in a sense. I came out smiling. I was really happy. Like
we just
coming away from that, like we needed something, and I thought that was going to give us a bit of a boost. But then we still had a bit of a downward spiral after that. We didn't really pick up much after that
because I think we started the season inconsistent, hadn't we? And obviously that was kind of going into October and then November. Probably only really mid-December where we've started to kind of get settled again. But again, we've said it on episodes after games and things like that. It's just, you're doing the right things. It's just you haven't got the players because of injuries or something else has happened that set them back. And I don't think we had a full roster until mid-December, and we've said that. So I'm in agreement with that. It was a bit of a bad run of form. And ironically, during that game, I said to you, watch Chukarov, because there was something the Panthers were going to do where they were going for a what they call a long change. So one would go in on the near side door, but the other one would come out on the far side door, so they would be closer to the goal. Because they were in the second period, I believe, so Robson was on our side of the rink. And he saw that we kind of put them in the zone, and he saw the change happen, and he stepped a couple of steps to his left and cut that play out. And the irony is, obviously, he's not with the team anymore. And obviously he's not going to play in that semi-final. But he's probably one of the reasons we ended up getting to the semi-final.
He played really well.
He was on lockdown.
He was my man of the match, I think, on that night.
I think he got man of the match, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did. No, actually, didn't Robson? I thought Robson did that night.
Maybe, I can't recall.
Chukarov was my man of the match that night.
And that was the first night we said that Virtanen as well is another player.
That's when we started eyeing that up, thinking, you know what, he's starting to perform a little bit here. And now look where he is now.
Yeah.
So what would you say your
my best moment?
It's a tough question, really, when you think about it. For the season we've had. Yeah.
And you could go recency bias and go, obviously, the most recent game, the comeback, that could be considered a good memory for the season so far. But that would be, recency biasy.
Yeah.
Because you're just going on what you recall now.
Yeah.
But I think looking at the season as a whole, it's probably, for me, got to be the game in Cardiff on Boxing Day.
I remember,
Obviously, there was we had, a 5-minute power play effectively because of the fight that wasn't a fight.
Yeah.
And that guy got chucked, and next thing you know, you swing momentum, you go 4-1 up, was it?
Yeah.
Obviously, we ended up losing the game, but I think at that point you could see the team had clicked. You could see where they were looking to make the plays. You could see who they were trying to get the puck out to and who was on the point, etc. And it kind of, you could see the kind of momentum. The Christmas period wasn't a great period in terms of points. But then you roll forward to the New Year period, and I think that's where then we've not lost in regulation in those 12 games now. So
I think we were here, weren't we, actually? We were in this
we were in this living room. Yeah, you had it on the TV.
I had it on the TV, and I remember you could hear it. He said Jen could hear us shouting just from outside, screaming that we scored a goal. So that was a good night, actually. It was a good game. Yeah, it was a great game. That was.
I know the result wasn't the best result, but for me, that's probably my best memory of the season because you could see the thing.
The turning point.
You could see where they were going. That was probably around, like I said, mid-December was around the time we started to have a full roster again. I know Sorceman was out with his issue, but we had the likes of Chukarov, Russell, Virtanen, and what have you. And I think that's when Kimmy dropped back into D as well. That's when we've started to kind of turn the screw a little bit in terms of the momentum. That's my best one so far this season. Not result-wise, but because the bigger picture, I could see what was going on in the team.
Worst moment.
Oh, I don't
There's so many I could pick from. Because I remember how grumpy I would been after games and not wanting to do a reaction to the action. I've got a few, to be fair, what really upset me.
Yeah.
There's quite a fair few what really got to me to the point where I didn't even want to do anything. I just wanted to go home after games and sulk.
Yeah.
And I think quite a fair Blaze fans will agree with that with the season where it's, how it started, where we weren't picking up points. We were, right at the bottom, and we were fearing that, teams like Fife and Dundee were going to overdo us. And
they'd made the signings of
I think there's a couple. I might have to name a couple. Like for me, Dundee at home when we were winning, weren't we winning like 3-1?
And we lost.
And I walked out.
Yeah.
As I walked out, that was the first game in a long time I've walked out of a game. We pulled it back a little bit, but then we still were a goal behind. I think it was like 4-3? It was 3-1. Then I swear it was like 4-3. Did it end 5-3 or something like that?
I can't recall. I remember the game. Yeah, I remember we were.
And I remember walking out, and that was like the grumpiest I've ever been in a game for a while.
Don't go because something's going to happen here. Because I could see that they were trying. It wasn't they weren't trying. There was no lack of effort as such. It was just it wasn't going the way we were hoping it would go in. And then I think
I was a bit defeated.
I remember
by that.
texting you and I said,
Yeah.
you've missed 2 good goals. We brought it back.
I was halfway home by that point. I was like, see ya.
Yeah.
To be fair, that got to me, but the one what got to me the most, if I have to say, is probably, and it's crazy, again, we're going the opposite, where I said Nottingham away, I enjoyed, but we played Nottingham at home, sorry, recently. Was it on New Year's Day?
New Year's Day.
And I was in the box.
Lost on overtime.
And I remember, because I had to present man of the match.
Yeah.
And I got, you told me to come down to the, to the, wherever it was. The benches, that's it. So I was at the benches. And I've never really stood by the benches in a game, so hearing them and having, shouting at each other was pretty good. And then the goal they scored, the lead, the build to that goal really upset me because the referee blatantly missed something, in my opinion. That
was the one that tied it. Was it tied it up to force overtime?
Yeah, we went into overtime, and then the referee made a real bad error.
Is that the one where he called Powers?
Yeah.
But he didn't trip him, did he? He played a perfectly good play check. And
it was just a bad error, in my opinion, and I really got upset to the point where our reaction to the action did get put down. Because of my comments was out, and I agree it was out of order, but the emotions were high, and it wasn't great. I just thought the referee really upset me that night, and I said things I shouldn't have said. That was probably not a great moment. But then again, there's been moments this season where I've gone, we could have done better. We could have done a lot better there. But then there's also been games where we've both come away and gone, you know what? We played really well, and we didn't deserve this.
No,
and that was against Nottingham as well, though, in my opinion. Where when we played Nottingham at home in the on New Year's Day, I thought we played pretty decent that game, and then we forced it into overtime. And when you play Nottingham and you play well, you know you're doing something right because Nottingham are on. At that point, they were sorry, Nottingham fans. The wheels have probably come off a tiny bit, haven't they?
Yeah.
But when they're on form and you play well against them, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
So that kind of disappointing. But then again, there's going to be lots of. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be the Nottingham game because how upset I was.
Yeah.
Mainly with referee decisions.
And I remember afterwards. Obviously, you made the comment, and then there was the thing behind the scenes that happened, which we won't go into details of. But then obviously there was the back and forth of at the start of the year of look, it's one of them things. Don't worry about it. That's the whole point of it. But how can
it's the trouble in it when you follow a sport, emotions are high.
Yeah, and that's what the action to action is.
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's saying what you want to say. Like we've got,
but within reason.
Within reason, and that's what we both kind of said.
I took it so bad where I was like, I ain't putting this down. But I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
When you step out of it and you look back on it and go,
hindsight's a good thing.
I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done what I've said. I apologise. So that was probably my worst moment of the season because my emotions were high and then I took it so badly.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
So I think that's probably my one.
Worst moments. Again, because of obviously how the season started, you could say in any of the games you could pick out the Sheffield game.
Yeah.
6-1. You could pick out the other one.
See, that was bad as well.
That's what I mean. Those Sheffield games and what have you, that you could pick out.
You could probably pick out most Sheffield games because they were bad, weren't they, those games?
But at the start of the season, obviously we haven't played them for a while.
Yeah.
And I think we're due to play them soon, obviously, in the league again. But we'll see how that goes because obviously they're on a bit of a bad run of form at the moment.
Haven't we got... We've got this week. Next week on the weekend.
Panthers Saturday.
Panthers Saturday.
As of recording this, it's Panthers Saturday, and then Giants Sunday, and then obviously we've got the
midweek Giants again.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. That Belfast one that will be. I think even going to Panthers is going to be interesting. That's why I said let's go to this because I'm looking forward to seeing the form we're in and going there.
Yeah, shows you where we're up to.
Yeah.
But my worst moment, I don't know, I could pick anything throughout the season and it could be the most stupidest thing. But I think for me, the bit that kind of sticks out the most is, and it's not even a team-related thing, and I've done my own little things on this. So it is team-related, but it's also league-related as well. I think the worst moment for me is when the teams, more so our team, have announced the Pride jerseys, now I've obviously gone and done my own TikToks on them.
And if, by the way, if you're not following, is it Danny Blazeworld?
Danny_Blazeworld.
That's it. Give him a follow.
So yeah, I had a bit of a rant about people making comments, and some of them have tried to double down on it, and obviously I've put it out there, and someone even commented on our status, obviously when we shared the video on the main channel or on the main Facebook page. They were trying like, don't take it out of context. You know, they were trying to stick to their guns with it, and then I think because of what I've said on my video, those people have come. Other people have gone, you know what? No, I'm going to say something now, and these other people, you know, other fans or of that LGBTQ community, they've now started to say, do you know what? If he can say it, I'm going to say it as well. So they've started to maybe have a little bit of a.
I think it's a shame though, because I think it's awful when you have comments like this, because everyone's entitled to have their opinion on how they feel in life. Like it's nothing to do with us. And I think it's disgusting where especially what we're in now, 2026, and this is still happening.
It's still happening, and there's people online that they haven't been like homophobic, like, but I don't understand why we need it in 2026. And it's like,
for people like that, we need it.
For people like the comments on the Facebook, and obviously you had the whole Fife situation the other day as well, and obviously not going into too much detail, but I've seen that player's, I won't name him for obvious reasons, but that player's wife has gone on her social media the past couple of days and basically tried to double down on it. But that will be a completely separate video on probably my own TikTok of me just going off on that again. But it's just that kind of environment. And then obviously you were there on Sunday. I obviously did what I was doing on Sunday, and I'd heard some comments that were, they were jokes to an extent.
But they're not funny.
But they're not funny, no. So I was just reading what the next couple of notes were. And I'm not going to repeat them because there's no point in repeating them, because it's highlighting what it is. But I sat down and thought, this is why you need these jerseys. This is why you need it. Cause,
to make a stand against that.
It's just a joke. It might be a joke.
It's not funny.
No, but it's not funny. No. Think about somebody who is going through a situation, and it's not just about the LGBTQ plus community. In general, in the world, you do not know who's walking around that rink and what they're battling every day. And it's that old message of, you don't know what's under the surface of the next person.
Yeah, of course.
Someone might be battling depression. They might be battling their own demons. They might be up against it because they're out of a job, or they might have lost a family member, or whatever, and you make a jokey comment, it only takes somebody to take it the wrong way, and that's it, you're in a bit of a shitty situation. So at the end of the day, that's probably my worst moment of the season. It's just how that in 2026 we've still got
how people still think that's acceptable when it's not,
narrow-minded, and like, why do I need it shoving in my face? Well, the moment as a straight person or a heterosexual person, whichever way you want to call it, so the moment that I'm abused for being married to my wife, is the moment then I will say, well, I need a jersey to represent what the abuse I'm getting. Like, we have domestic violence things, we have mental health things, we have obviously the pride stuff, obviously all the abuse and slander that they all get, and even making like I saw a TikTok of a page the other day, and I've got it saved, and I was going to do a video on it on my TikTok. It's some guys, I think they're rugby men, they ain't got a clue about hockey, and he says something like along the lines of, don't be trying to fight in hockey, it's the gayest sport around. What? Even making those kind of comments,
saying that word,
using
what's the point?
A homophobic slur to degrade a sport because of fighting. I just couldn't get it.
I just don't get it.
And he went on to say something like, the goalies, they're all they're basically all wimps and this, that, and the other. The goalies, look at all the padding the goalies wear. And I was like, mate, have you had a puck shot at you at 100 miles an hour? You ain't going to want that.
Let's just see how that feels with that pad, shall we?
And but things like that,
I've been, when I played ball hockey, and I've had, the padding is not as much as ice hockey, but I remember wearing just my shin guards, and I got smashed by the ball in the inside of my leg, and that sucked.
It hurts.
Now imagine a puck doing that to you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I've had a puck smack me in the inside of my leg, on the back of my leg. I had a bruise down one of my calves. I've had a skate blade catch me on the inside of my leg.
It's still going to suck.
You've got your hockey shorts on, but obviously with hockey shorts, the inside round here, it's just the material of the shorts.
Yeah.
And some of them have like zips on it, so you can make them a little bit looser and what have you. But
or you can get smacked in the face quite easily.
Smacked in your face, you know. And
lose some teeth. It happens.
That's happened. I've got no teeth on my bottom right hand side here because I took a butt end of a stick to the face. Lost a couple for that, but it is a rough sport, and for people that don't know,
bring it down.
Never obviously been involved in hockey before, and they're making comments on the back of what they are. Like it's stuff like that, and using the word "gay," someone might identify as gay or whatever, but that doesn't mean then you can use that word as a degrading way of a community,
it is wrong,
or even a sport, and that's probably my worst moment. As a sport, in this era, but probably as a team, it's got to be one of the Sheffield games. I can't. If I had to pick,
there is a fair few, isn't there? For everything, really.
I think it's probably that one where it was ironically, Cliff Poo.
Yeah.
Who's obviously gone on to be released by Sheffield since then.
Mm-hmm.
We won't go into that one as well, but So that's probably the one of the worst memories as a team. As a fan, off ice, it's that for the LGBTQ plus community and the Pride jersey situation. On ice, got to be the Sheffield Steel game. I can't remember when it was. It was it in October? Start of October?
Yeah.
It was around the Champions Cup game.
It was,
So that's probably my best and worst moments of this season.
We definitely dragged that one, didn't we?
Wow.
But there was a lot to go through on that one.
Players under the microscope was another thing we put down. So not obviously going through everybody. Maybe you can pick 2, 3, however many you want, and just kind of go through what's, what they're doing this season. And I've put little subcategories. So one player who's doing better than fans will give credit for, one player who divides opinion, and one player who has changed your mind.
Okay,
since the start
that's a good
of the
one.
Season.
Tasty, that one is.
So for me, I'll start it off.
Yeah, go for it.
The player who is probably better than the fans gave credit for, and I think it's starting to show now, is Connor Russell.
Yeah,
I think when the season first started, him and Chukarov, I think a lot of people just said, "What are they there for?"
Mm-hmm.
I know obviously Chukarov unfortunately has been released now, and I think that just comes down to numbers. I don't think it's because he's a bad player. People will probably argue and disagree with that, but for me, him and Russell were very similar in that they're there to protect the goalie and do what they can, and we've seen a lot more of Russell doing that recently. Obviously, getting a little bit more physical, etc. I think he had a situation at the start of the season with his hand, and he's come about being an integral part of the decor these past 12, 15 games, and I think it's been amazing, obviously, to see him kind of, especially the people I speak to on most game days, at the start of the season, like, I'm not too sure of Russell, I'm not too sure of Russell, he's good, but I don't know what he actually brings to the team,
Yeah, I've heard that a few times.
He's a consistent player, he's getting minutes on the ice. If it's not Sorcerer, it's him. If it's not him, it's Virtanen. Between those three, they're probably our 3 go-to D-men at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to the likes of, Clements, or any of the other guys that are covering on D, like Tolberg, and what have you. But and obviously Power's come in and been solid, but you can't really judge him after a month and a bit on the team. I mean, we only announced him, Christmas?
It was
around Christmas, wasn't it? It was the day before Christmas.
Yeah, that was
because, he was skating. Everybody was skating. He was stood on the side.
And I kept checking in. Who's he? Because he keeps he's looking over like he's part of the team, and I don't know if he's part of the team or not. And at first, I thought he was because we played Steelers that night. I think did we? Did we play Steelers that night?
I think it was. Yeah.
And I was thinking, is that a Steelers player I do not recognise? Because I don't recognise him from the Blaze. And then I had to double take because I looked on my phone because I heard rumours going around.
Yeah.
So I checked my phone as I was skating around the ice, and Sophie was skating. She said, "What are you doing on your phone? You're going to fall into..." I was like, "I swear that's our new signing." And I went over and I was like, "Jordan," and he was like, "Yeah," and I was like, hey.
Yeah, I did exactly.
And I was like, hey, and then we had a bit of a nice, and he was a really nice.
Yeah,
he's a really nice guy.
Really sound.
So I'm gonna go. We'll do 1 for 1, I reckon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with. It's a really tough one because I was gonna go with Russell, but
Go Russell.
yeah,
but
I probably would agree with you on Russell because to me, I was probably one of those who was a bit like, don't know, I don't see anything.
yeah.
And now I am seeing it, but then I wish to God Ivan was still here.
Yeah.
Because I have to admit, I was like, don't know. But then there was games I was like, you know what, he's really. But then again, we can go on Yuri.
Yeah, Yuri.
To me, at first, when we first started, I was thinking, he's a real big lad. He's not throwing his weight about. He's not physical for me.
Yeah.
There was times where I seen where the puck was getting in between his skates, and I was getting really frustrated. But then look what he's doing now.
Yeah.
The Rocket Man, look what he's doing, and he's such a nice guy.
What, 12 goals, 9 power play goals, and I can't remember how many games it was in now.
I think I'm going to have to go with Yuri on this one, actually. Just be a little bit different, just because I was unsure at first. Like, it took me a while to warm up to think, okay, it's not my type of player at first. I feel bad saying that, but he wasn't, and I was questioning it a few times. But then, as of recently, obviously the stats speak for itself.
Stats do.
And I've really warmed up to him as what he's like as well off the ice after kind of speaking to him at the weekend. And
he's really
he's a really nice guy. He's always smiling.
He's a character.
Yeah,
I like that. He's got a bit of funniness about him.
And I think that when we were talking to him, I was just like, he's always smiling. But then I also actually no, I'm going to save that one for.
Pull the stats up for him.
I'm going to save another player actually, but yeah, I'm going to go with Yuri on that one just because I did have a few question marks.
Yeah,
but they have now been answered.
Fair enough. Because it was obviously we've said 12 goals of which 9 are power play goals.
He's turned my head massively.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what he's got in terms of total points. So I'm just going to have a little look. I'll tell you now, actually. Bear with me 2 seconds while I have a little look at the stats.
But he's definitely... I think he's turned a lot of heads.
D-man. He's got 13 goals, sorry.
13?
He's got 13 goals.
Wow.
Of which he's got 10 assists, so he's got 23 points in 33 games as a D-man.
It's ridiculous as a D-man, isn't it, really? How he's turning people's heads out. And I swear I'm not the only one who's probably going to watch this and go, you know what? I agree there, Luke, because I've watched him and I thought, I don't know. Because there's times where I've gone, no, don't pass it back there. And I'm like, sometimes I get a bit frustrated. But now I feel like I'm full of confidence and I'm always there going, shoot.
But it's not just about his regulation goals.
Yeah.
Go back a few months when we had the shootout.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was against now. Was that Fife in overtime?
Was that when he did that and it was really smooth?
It was just really chilled.
I was like, you didn't even seem like you put much effort.
He just did that so nonchalantly.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you?
Yeah.
Because I think at that point a lot of people were questioning it. And we even said, and I've done it obviously on the reaction to the action, I've said it about him, that he reminds me of a Blackhawks player that can have a moment where he just trips up nothing, or just looks like he's misplaced the puck, and then all of a sudden he comes up and he scores an absolute worldie of a goal, or stops, an absolute blinder.
I'm not surprised you can't hear in the crowd. Shoot!
You probably can. But yeah, I get you where you're coming from with Verti on there. There was 3 players that I could pick from. Russell was one, Verti was the other, and my third one.
Falcon? Why did I say that? Falcon.
I lost my flow now.
Yuri,
Russell. So obviously I went Russell, you've gone Yuri. But my third one is going to lead me good into the next part, which is one player who divides opinion.
Wow. Do you know what?
And I know
who I'm going to pick straight away. Lucci? For me,
really?
there's a few opinions this season,
I think it's because he's had that injury and he's come back and he took a bit of time to get going again. But then he had that spell where he had a really good run of form.
But then I think I'm in between that though, because I'm hearing sometimes goes, he ain't been like he was last season, was he? And then some people have gone, and I've gone, well, I don't know. I'm in between where there's Lucci, and I'm like, because I love Lucci.
Yeah. Let's see if I get.
But there's there's other people's opinions where maybe even some people have even been like at first Barriga.
Yeah, Barriga's
been one as well where I feel people have been a bit unsure, but then as of lately,
yeah,
probably since would you say since about Christmas, where you can see
we called it before that.
We did, didn't we? Actually, we had an episode. Yeah,
we said that the Boyson, because at that point, me and Sam had highlighted that Boyson, Gleeson, and Barriga had been put on a line, and it just seemed to flow so much better. I'm just trying to find Lucci's stats for this year so far. But what I was wondering about Barriga,
we did call out Barriga, and
we said if he was on 2 goals or something.
Yeah,
I think he was on 2 goals and 1 assist.
And then we were a bit unsure where that, where's that taking us with him? Like, are we going to see more of him or not? And then, Sam's opinion on it as well. So I think we were all amongst it saying, what's going on with Barriga? The form isn't being there. But as of late, I'd probably say, I think since that conversation, he's definitely like listened and he's gone, you know what, I need to step this up a little bit, and he has been consistent.
It's not even just in terms of we pulled him up on one of the live streams, and it was like, I'm pretty sure it was I can't remember if it was 2 goals, 1 assist, or 1 goal, 1 assist, but it was a low figure, and I found him on here as I'm trying to search for Lucci's stats. Barriga, 10 goals, 9 assists.
And look at that already now.
And that's what I mean. And I know it's obviously not a massive number, etc. And he's probably just found his place in the team. Obviously got those 2 vital goals.
That question you've asked, though, is kind of difficult because there's a few people. Because remember, I think with Mismash.
Mismash
is another player where look at the form he's on now.
Yeah,
where he weren't scoring goals, and I swear, I don't know, was it you or someone else who told me they were having a conversation saying that people were laughing that Mismash was on, I think, was he on our most expensive player this season?
I've not heard
I don't know who said that. Someone
know.
mentioned saying, a Belfast fan was going, I can't believe he's like one of your most expensive players. And I'm thinking, I don't know who told me that. Someone mentioned that to me, and I'm thinking, where have you got that from?
No, I can't remember that. But you'd think, obviously, he's come from Belfast last year, as did Barriga. They were in it. I don't know how integral they were to that team, but they were part of the title-winning team last year, and obviously the Challenge Cup winning team.
Winning mentality.
So obviously, to get him over here, you would assume he is probably one of the bigger paid players in the team.
I can't complain.
Can't say that that's definite though. But going back to Lucci, like you said, just to put it out there, you said obviously his kind of season, and you can see why. 28 games, so he's missed a load of games. Compared to people who are on like 35, 34, mid to low 30s. But in that, so 28 games, 6 goals, 10 assists.
And that's
probably why that opinion.
That's probably, I think that's what I'm hearing quite a bit. Saying he's not on the form what he always used to be on. But I always, like you just said, I always take into credibility that he has been injured.
Yeah.
And when you have an injury, when you're out for a while, it does knock you, knocks your confidence as well. So
yeah, it definitely does.
But it's not like I'm not saying he's not trying, because I see him and he does work. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He tries, and he can't say he's not trying. I just think he's just not, reaching to what we know what he's capable of.
Yeah, and you could say the same about Kim Tolberg.
Yeah, definitely.
He never puts a shift wrong, in my opinion. And yes, he has been covering on D these past couple of games, but he did score, not against obviously.
It was last week, weren't it?
Yeah, it wasn't this weekend. It was the weekend before. He scored, I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 goals, but he's on similar kind of goals and what have you. I think he's got the same goals as Lucci, but 1 less assist.
Yeah.
But he's played more games.
Yeah.
But obviously most of those games, you could probably say the games he's played more are probably on D anyway.
Yeah.
But that's probably where he's picked up a couple of points from D, because he's just been, coming in and around. But for me, and I think a lot of people will go with this, is Artem Buzavaria.
I agree. You know what? I'm not surprised I didn't call that out either.
And I don't know what people expect from him. He's a big unit guy. He gets in and around. He's good at face-offs. I'm pretty sure he's up there with probably one of the better face-off people on the team. Yes, I'm looking at his stats now. He's got 3-1 in 28 games. So again, he's missed games, but obviously he came in with a little bit of a knock.
He did, didn't he?
So 3-1. Not great in terms of stats, but I don't think he's on a line where it's more about him scoring goals. I don't think he.
I actually can't complain about his work rate though.
No.
I think his work rate's great.
And people have said, I've seen comments and what have you saying, oh no, anyway, when it said like he's been selected for Ukraine for this thing this week.
Yeah.
Rumours are. So he's going to Edinburgh to play for Ukraine. Rumoured, don't know obviously how true that is. And somebody, where I saw that, somebody said, oh no, anyway. And I was like,
No.
what do you mean, oh no, anyway? Like, he doesn't probably throw his weight around as much, but that's not his game. So you can't expect because he's a big guy, he's going to throw his weight around.
Yeah.
He's being brought in to do a job, and he's doing what Kevin's asked him to do. And I don't think he ever does anything wrong.
Yeah.
There's moments where I think you could have been a little bit better in that situation, but then you could say that about any player in those situations.
Going back to what you just said there, you just made a really good point where I said about Yuri.
Yeah.
His height doesn't mean, because he's a tall guy, doesn't mean he's going to have to use his weight.
No.
Kevin might say, I want you to use your ability elsewhere.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
What he's obviously doing. And we know there's a secret somewhere there where something's going on, something's happened to give them that. So, like you just said there, that was a really good valid point, that just because you're a big guy doesn't mean you're going to use your weight. And that's sometimes quite a lot of us, including me. I expect it. I see a big guy and I go, you know what, mate? I expect you to throw people about.
Yeah.
But then when we look at people like last season, we could call out Mikey Kennedy.
Yeah.
We weren't the biggest, but he was a tough cookie.
Yeah.
So there's people out there where you don't expect it. Because I didn't expect it from when we first got Kennedy. I didn't think, I don't think he's going to do this and that. And then look what he did. He used to really wind people up. He used to get stuck in.
He used to get under people's skin.
God, I miss him.
But you could do that about across the years. I could go back years ago and look at teams that have won leagues, and I think he wasn't a big guy. He threw his weight around. He wasn't a big guy. He was a big-ish guy.
Bit like the guy from Storm. Is it Locke?
Locke's tall.
Is he tall? He didn't look that tall to me.
Really
I don't think he looked
tall?
I thought I only said that because I remember when we went to
big unit.
We went to Storm away, didn't we, at the start of the season?
I didn't go.
Didn't you go? No, it was Sam who was with me, weren't it?
No, I didn't go.
We went to that. Oh yeah, because I got the stick, didn't I, Ethan?
Yeah.
And halfway through the game, I was like, I'm just going to take this back to the car because it's just doing weird and it stunk. It was right by my face and it was so busy where we were and it was just here and I was like, I've got to get rid of this. But I think Sam mentioned something, he really liked him. So I kind of paid a bit more attention when Sam mentioned it. And I was watching him, I was like, I can see Sam's point on why he likes him. But then I was thinking, he don't look that big from where I'm standing.
No, he's a big guy.
But he definitely, I like him and he throws his weight quite a bit.
I couldn't tell you how tall he is, but I think what it is, because I'd say he's in the 6.
He's a broader guy.
Yeah, he's very broad. He's a big body guy in terms of.
And I like that.
He's as tall as he is wide, and I think it makes him look.
It makes him look a bit smaller.
Normal sized, if that makes sense. But when you've been around the benches with what I do on game nights, and
you can see how big he is
on Sunday, you can tell how big he is.
Yeah.
And it is not scary
like him.
for. But if I was playing at my size, which I'd say I'm a little bit taller than Lucci.
Yeah.
If I looked at him as I'm coming down, I'd think shit. But he's not one that really throws his weight around. He's just chilled.
Yeah, I do like him.
Yeah, I think I put
I
didn't put him in yesterday, but I put in the chat for all of us yesterday. Cutler is another one. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah.
But he throws his weight around. That's his game. He's a bit of a wind up as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. For me, obviously, I think Artem, going back to him, he's a taller guy, but I don't think that's his game. He's not a physical guy. He's obviously come from a league where they rely more on skill than they do whatever. And he's a bit dabby with his hands. He can get into situations, and I think that's led to a lot of people on his lines, picking up the points, whereas he's not. Because he was obviously with Kimmy at the start of the season before he went back to D, and probably that's where a lot of Kimmy's goals have come from. Artem doing what he's done. So for me, it's got to be Artem. I
can't really argue with that. I was thinking Artem in all fairness, but
it just. And if he has got picked for Ukraine for this thing at the weekend in Edinburgh, fair play.
Fair play. He obviously deserves it.
Clearly
doing something right.
Something right, yeah.
Yeah.
So the last one we said was one player that we've changed our mind on. But I suppose that kind of comes down to kind of ties into what we just spoke about.
Because I said Yuri, because he changed my mind quite a bit. Where I was pretty critical of it really at the start of the season. But he has turned my head massively.
It could be changing mind on you thought he was going to be something and he's actually not lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
I think you could have something like that. Yeah.
There's a few really when I think about it where I go, you know what, you've turned my head massively.
Yeah.
Because even Ivan did.
Yeah.
And I was a bit like, don't know. But then he did. And then he started performing. And then,
but even the other way around, like, there's people coming in, I thought, I was expecting more of you, and you've not really done what I've wanted you to do. I'm not going to name them because that's not what we're here for, but there are 3 on the team at the moment that are not hitting my...
I think I know who.
But hitting where I would expect them to be based on last year.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just returning players, they've been in the league last year.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
That's that one. So we also noted, and I said it yesterday, fan base talk. Now, what I mean by fan base talk is obviously I've segregated it again.
Yeah.
So, as a fan base, what do we feel we get right, and what do we feel we get wrong? You know, so kind of ties into what we were just talking about. Are some fans just too impatient and they jump on the hate wagon too quickly? I know I did a video at the start of the season on my TikTok. And I said basically that if you're judging them after 4 weeks in the league when they've never been in the league, you need to have a reality check. Now is the time to judge them.
Totally agree.
And I would like anybody who has sat there and said at the start of the season, such and such a player is awful, to look at that same player now and go, I was wrong.
And I can put my hands up with one of them. I was clearly negative about Yuri. I really was. Sorry, Yuri. But I was a bit like... Going back to, like, because we've kind of covered that, where I said, look, you're a big guy, mate. Use that weight. Come on. But is that your game? Obviously not. And we've obviously got, again, turn my head to, we've seen something different, what he can provide. And he's becoming now a fan favourite, and especially one of mine. And that's where the beauty of this, where we can look at it and go, you know what? This is the time to start going, okay, we can start being a bit more critical on.
This is the time now.
Where you can say, you know what, you've been here for so long, you've settled in, and right now it's where quite a lot of heads turn, where they've been a bit impatient, including myself, where now we can start saying, you know what, you are performing now.
And I said it in my video that you've had a team last year that, you know, we did exceptionally well. We were 5th in the league in the end. We were 5th or 6th, wherever we ended up finishing. And I think people just expected the same again, but you've got to think what we lost last year. You know, some of the biggest goal scorers in the league last year. You lost Nick Sainz, you lost obviously Gressuk, and you lost obviously Rigas as well. You know, three big, you know,
and that hurt. It stung.
And you've got to try and replace those goals. And obviously, Kevin's brought whoever he's thought right in, and injuries. You know, bad run of results and form just dips. And I think Clements was on one episode and he says, you know, when you're overthinking things, you clench the stick a bit too hard. You put your foot the wrong way and it ricochets it wrong. You put too much effort into the pass and you overhit it.
I think we, as a fan base, we have put too much expectation on it, too much too soon. And I think I'm not just going to say everybody. There's even including myself. I've done things where I'm very guilty of going, you know what, we shouldn't be like as a team really. Like, I feel I've heard a few comments in the past saying, look, we're a team, we've got to, like, I've honestly heard fans in the past turn around and say, we've got to face facts that we're a team who are not going to be challenging for the Challenge Cup, we're not going to be challenging to win the league, we're not going to be challenging to win the playoffs. And I think, why not? And then people then go back to, we haven't got the resources, we haven't got the money, but at the end of the day, we have got players in that team who have got a winning mentality. And that's when I remember we had that joke at the start of the season. See, again, we had that little sit down at the start of the season at Hops, and we all predicted who's going to be the top goal scorer, who's going to finish where in the league.
I remember saying
and we were having a bit of banter about it, and we all said, look, Blaze are going to finish about 4th.
We said it,
I think, and then we all said Manchester Storm were going to be at the bottom,
and they're above us.
And look, they're above us, and I think,
and it was a tight game at the weekend.
It was a really tight game, and Manchester Storm have really turned a lot of people's heads. So fair play, and I was really guilty saying Storm are in trouble this season
because I think you had obviously a lot of the change behind the scenes as well. You know, it's just obviously the way it goes that there's changes sometimes that need to be made within a backroom capacity. You know, we've had that a few years back. Danny Stewart left, Kevin come in. There's that uncertainty of where we're going to be, and we were that team last year. Blazer finished bottom.
And then I remember though at the start of the season there was a lot of Coventry Blaze are the team to watch this season. They've got
Yeah,
Colton
'cause we
Sauceman. We started signing some
and then
really
this year,
high-profile
yeah.
players that for this season. Sorry, and then like
Sauceman, Briga, Mishmash.
and everyone was like,
two
"Wow,
league winners, a proven
we're
Grand Slam winner with Sauceman."
Exactly. So, and then I think as a fans, we have got a bit impatient with that. Going, you know what? He's not performing like this.
Yeah.
People have been criticising sometimes on player interviews. Like I've heard some comments that going, I'm fed up of hearing we're not consistent, we're not this, and I'm thinking
But we're not consistent at
we're
that
not.
point.
I get it.
It's the way it is.
It's a sport. It happens in football. We all get upset when our team loses.
Yeah.
But we've all got to face facts that. I think what really hurts me the most, and I've gone off way off subject, but what really hurts me the most is saying we're not a team who are gonna be winning these things. But we're in a semi-final now. And yes, okay, we've got Belfast, but we beat them before.
Beat them twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Beat them at home a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we beat them at their place, obviously, last weekend.
And I feel like, why not? We've got the players.
There's not saying that there's not some sort of belief there, because there is. But I think, there's that expectation of it's got to be instant, and it doesn't work like that.
It takes time.
It does take time.
Kevin's second season. This is what I always have in my head as well. Is that
second
Kevin
is
a full-time coach who's, he was assistant at Nottingham, and it's his second season. You've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. You've got to give it time to
and we
build.
all have moments where we make mistakes.
Yeah.
In anything, like in work, I've done something. I've gone.
Well, I made the mistake by calling out a referee.
Yeah, we all have those moments, and it might be something. It could be something as simple as, I said I was going to do something. Days got away from me, and I'm not done it. It's not a mistake I've intentionally gone out to do. It's just unfortunate that I've made that mistake. He's obviously got whatever way he scouted these players and went, I think this person and this person, is brilliant. He's gone and got them, and for whatever reason, it didn't initially work.
Yeah, it didn't gel. It took time,
and it does take time. And these people are human. They've got to think about what affects them off the ice as well as on the ice, and it's just unfortunate that's the way it goes.
It happens.
But we are in a semi-final. That's the most important thing. We're definitely in a semi-final. We've went to a team that we know we can beat as well.
Yeah.
I know they've just signed that Guildford goalie as well.
Kupski.
Yeah.
That's a good signing, that is.
It's a good signing.
That's a good sign.
He can have a moment where he can stand on his head as well, and I just think if Whistle doesn't turn up, you've got a solid couple of Niners there.
And Kupski, I tell you what, he plays great against the Blaze. He's always been. He always gets under my skin a little bit, thinking, you know what, I don't know. It was a bit like Mishmash when he was at Belfast. He used to really get, and I remember saying when he first signed, I said, I'm so glad you signed for us, because you used to really get under my skin, because you used to score against us quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I think we just need to be a bit patient.
Yeah, we've got to be patient. You can't be too harsh with these players. Like, going back to the Artem thing, you can't be turning around and going, oh, he's not producing enough.
Yeah.
Unless you're in that room when Kevin's telling them what to be doing, or in the training session saying, this is how I want you to approach this.
Yeah.
But so-and-so this. It happens in football.
Yeah.
Like, we know when a team plays a certain team. For example, we'll use Real Madrid, and we'll go back to, I don't know, Liverpool, Real Madrid in the Champions League earlier on this year. You can't tell me that the manager isn't sitting there going to your right back, keep an eye on Mbappe.
Yeah.
He's not turning around to Van Dijk and Konate in the middle going, keep an eye on Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
No, they're going to highlight players that are key to successes on those teams. And it happens with hockey. Everybody's going to look at it. Cutler's a fucking pain in the arse.
Yeah.
In some ways. But he's one of those players that if he's on your team, you'd love him.
Of course, yeah.
He has his moments.
Exactly the same with your Mishmash.
Yeah.
He was the same with Colton Sauceman.
He scored again at the weekend as well, against us. And I genuinely feel like Kevin last week would be like, right, we're up against Storm today. Cutler, keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Hinham, is that his name? The number 9 at Waterfall face cage. Keep an eye on him. There would be a couple of players that you'd need to highlight, and it goes.
It goes the other way. It goes that way.
Look at Walsh at the back end. Their D-men. He's probably one of their most consistent D-men. He was put under pressure at the weekend and coughed up the puck that allowed Constable to have a kind of breakaway in the second. And unfortunately didn't put it away for whatever reason.
It's exactly the same. I remember last season when we played Steelers. Every time there was a power play, I used to go watch Sauceman.
Yeah,
because he's a pain in the arse on this power play, and he was always left open. He always take chances. His shooting's pretty damn good.
Yeah, not too bad.
And when we signed him, I thought, oh, thank God for that. I ain't got to worry about him on this power play. And at least we've got him on our side. Same with Grant Mismatch. Same with Barriga in a sense. There was times where I was against Barriga for, oh, God.
Barriga at Dundee was the Barriga you hated.
Yeah.
Because he was just, I wouldn't say phenomenal, but he was...
You'd still be like,
consistent.
Oh... Yeah.
He was getting points every year.
There is always those odd players, but then when we look at it on the Blaze perspective, is that we've got the beauty of it, this team, when you think about it, you've got a lot of people where you could say, I know if I was not supporting the Blaze, I'd be always going, I'm a bit worried about Constable today. I'm a bit, because he comes out of nowhere sometimes. And it's the same with, at the moment, like Panthers. Is it Spencer? Is that his last name? Who is his name? I really rate.
Spencer does play for them, yeah.
I swear there's a Spencer. And I can't remember what. Have a look, yes. But there's a few certain players in Panthers where I go, oh shit.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like even, is it when Carr's in goal as well? I think, oh great, he has a great game against us, so great, I wish he weren't. But there is a certain player, and I'm trying to think, is he their captain?
You've got Chase Pearson.
That's the one, that's him. Pearson, that's what I'm thinking of.
I remember looking at him wearing number 12.
Pearson, and I'm like, he is quality. He's a quality player. Yeah. So we're going way off subject probably. So what else have we got? What else are we going to discuss?
Yeah, so that's obviously, we do think obviously people are just quick to jump on the bandwagon of hating, which isn't on. I put here obviously as their opinion from social media that just drives you mad, but I suppose that's obviously most of the stuff you see about the hate is from social media.
Hate, massive. Yeah. I can't stand people having hate on it.
And one criticism of the team we can actually agree with.
Criticism, okay.
For me, I think Sam's highlighted it a few times, and touch wood, we haven't needed it this year, and when we have had players step up. And I think we have kind of brought it in now with the likes of Russell's obviously feeling a bit better in himself with his injury. Powers come in and he'll do this.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't really have that fighter there to protect the guys like
I remember Sam having that conversation with me before, yeah.
Even at the weekend, like Robbins at one point was, I can't remember, was it in the second period? He was facing this direction and someone coming from behind him and wiped him out.
And then his helmet come off and everything.
There was another bit as well, where their netminder, there was a bit of tussle in front of the net and someone ragged his helmet off.
That was it.
Someone should be stepping in on that.
To say, look, back off.
Russell will do it, and I'm not saying he doesn't. Powers, I don't see him kind of sort out anybody to say, don't do that again, I'm not going to have you. I think Russell's more that guy.
There was a good moment, though.
When Powers came in and had a fight in his first game, didn't he? Yeah, so.
There was a moment there when Sauceman was down and he got a hit in the face.
Yeah, somebody...
But then someone did come over and I was like, that's what I want to see.
And that's what I'm saying. I think now that we've got the likes of Russell, who isn't nursing whatever injury he did have at the start of the season, Powers will do it as well. Mismatch will throw fights because he had a fight towards the start of the season. We had him on the episode. He had a fight on, actually. Yeah. There are obviously people out there in the team that will do it, but I think that's probably the thing that a lot of people say we've not got that
I agree
fighter.
Massively that we need someone to be like, hey, that's my man.
Yeah.
Back off. Like there's times where at the start of the season when I think you were about to say Robson got took clean out at the start of the season, and I was like, is anyone going to do anything? And I think it was Tate.
Yes,
was it Tate? And they took Robson out, and he was by the glass by me, and he was smiling, and I was hitting the glass, going, "Don't you fucking smile at me!" And I was thinking, I shouldn't be doing that. As a fan, I might go shouting, but then I wanted to see a player from our team to go, don't fucking do one. Yeah. Like don't smile at, don't think it's funny. You just took my goalie out.
Yeah.
So I feel like you and Sam mentioned it before, saying you've got to protect your goalie. Yeah, that is your goal. That's your goal.
Your guy.
You look after him. Yeah. So when you take your goalie out, you are instantly like, do not touch my goalie. Yeah. I remember when I played ball hockey, my coach, who was also our captain, and I remember my first ever ball hockey game, and we were in Rotherham, and our guy got smashed so bad. It was a horrible challenge on him.
Wow.
And I literally lost my temper and went over. I was like, that's my guy. Don't do that. Yeah. And then I was like, what number are you? and for the game, then I was like, I'm going to have you. And then everyone was like, just leave it. And I was like, nah, that's my guy.
it was the same. I think I've told you the story, and there's definitely pictures on Facebook of someone. We'd gone to Sheffield, and we had a lad on the team, a guy called Murray Mitchell, his name was, and he was a sound guy, nothing in it, but he could look after himself. But something had happened, and I was playing D. Something had happened, and I didn't like that, so I went and basically. I got involved, and there's an image somewhere of the guy, and we laugh about it now. The guy's I think his name's Paul Reeves, from Sheffield. There's a picture of him, no helmet on, like doing all this, and I'm in the background, like shaking my gloves, as if say, "Well, come on then, let's go. If you want to tango, let's tango." And but that's what we do. Like, and that was obviously on one of my players. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with Murray. I can't even remember if it was Murray now. It might have been, but I remember he was around it anyway. Well, he might have been my D partner. But something had happened anyway, and it was this Paul. And me and this Paul laugh about it now on social media, but in the moment you're just like, yeah. But afterwards you do laugh and joke about it. And Paul was the one that shared the images with me. But it happens. But when you touch your goalie, you've just got to be like, back off. Yeah. And I think something happened on the weekend with Robbo. And I was thinking, why isn't anybody wiping this clown out?
Yeah, yeah.
And I just thought, that's the bit that kind of annoys me a little bit to an extent, because I just think, that's where we have that little bit.
That's where I get a bit.
And it could be smart it might be something Kevin said.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Again, it goes back to, let's not be too judgmental and jump on the train.
Yeah.
It could be that Kevin said, draw the penalty.
I know he's already told Clem this season, calm it down.
And that's it. And it might be, let them draw the penalty. We'll have the power play.
Yeah. Take it. I can see that point, and it's very clever.
Especially the way, Versus is at the moment. You get a power play, give it to
It's clever.
Yeah.
When you think about it, if we can keep, getting on the power play and get something out of it and take that advantage, why not? So there is different arguments.
Yeah, it definitely is. Obviously, while I was looking at my phone then, was obviously we put on social media about any questions. We have actually had a question come in.
So have we?
We'll get to that at the end. But the last kind of point we raised was, it's just a bit of fun, this one, for both of us. So if we were in charge, again, it's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
What decision would you make? So, who would you start in a game? Now, obviously, we've got a couple of players extra. I think we had 3 before Chukarov was released. So we've got 2 extra players, including netminders, that is. So who would you scratch? So obviously, at the moment, there's a lot of scratches. Obviously, Hazeldene's been scratched because I think he's got a bit of a knock. And obviously, Dersh and Stewart's obviously not played as many.
And that's a shame.
Which is a shame, yeah.
I think he's done well.
It's been a long time.
I think he was one of my players where he has been under the mic. I've seen him perform really well.
Yeah.
And it's been a shame. So,
but because you've got those 2 on the sidelines at the moment, if you had that decision of they're fully fit, so this is obviously what would you change, if anything? You might just say, I'll stick it as.
Do you know what? At the moment, I wouldn't change anything because I don't want to tempt fate either. When things are going good, I don't want to change anything.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I look at it. Is you don't need to change anything. Just do what you're doing now, please. Yeah. Because I don't. If we put these little changes in, this could end up being.
It derails us.
It could bite us in the arse.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not change anything. I don't want to mention names who I wouldn't want in my team deep down, because obviously we speak to these guys on a daily basis. I don't want to offend anybody. It's not a daily basis, but we speak to them, and I don't want them to feel like I'm being a dick.
Yeah.
But there is certain players where I'd say, right, I wouldn't have you. I personally wouldn't have you, but then as it stands.
It's working.
It's working to what I believe is, I believe what we're doing now is working. There is obviously something, what they're doing in training with the tactics. There's something going on
behind the scenes,
to the point where I think if we are, doing what we're doing, let's just not change anything for now.
Clements, I'm looking at you. Bit of an inside joke there. If Clements does see this, he knows what I'm on about there.
Okay.
So the last one then, obviously for me is. On that particular, if we were in charge, one player within the league.
Who would I bring in?
Who you can bring in? No budget. No, you're not scratching anybody to get this person in.
That's
either.
a very tough question.
Who would?
Is that what you brought up? Where someone's asked that?
No, I've thought of that one. So
there's a lot to choose from, isn't there? Really,
there is.
Any position as well.
Any position.
I don't. There's quite a few. I'm gonna have to go with my man at Panthers. Because what's his name? I mentioned.
Pearson.
Yeah. I like him. I really like him. I think he's a decent player, and he's got character off the ice the way it seems. Like how I've seen him, be with his, be with the fans at Panthers. I'd probably go with him, Pearson. Is that it, Pearson?
Pearson, yeah. Chase Pearson.
Maybe him, but then again, this is why it's a hard question because I could pick a number of players here. Pearson, I'd even what's his name? Who's just signed for Steelers, and he was at what's his name? And he's got a gob on him. What's his bloody name now? He went to Steelers just at Christmas time, didn't he? When did he go? What was his name? My brain is gone. And my brain always goes with his name. Oh, God.
I don't even know who you're referring to. That's the boring
He's just gone to Steelers. It's just done my head in. Oh, people in the comments will probably correct us. But was he in Scotland?
Okay.
And he did cause up a bit of a stinker.
Oh, Hurd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it?
When you say just gone, I thought you meant like...
No, it was like Christmas time, I think.
November.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, Hurd.
And he did cause a bit of a drama after our game, didn't he?
I've got to say it. I'm sorry, I'm rushing to drink here because it just bugged me that you brought him up. So that Cardiff player, going off topic completely, got banned at the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah.
For unsportsmanlike conduct, for doing the fishing rod.
Yeah. But that's
Mitchell Hurd,
that's what he did.
No. Mitchell Hurd, when he first signed for Sheffield, played that one game in the Skydo.
Yeah.
Got binned in the penalty box, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember.
Was smacking the glass. Was taunting the fans.
That was it. Yeah. Well, that's
what did he get?
Yeah. He didn't get nothing, did he?
So gone off topic. That's what annoys me about the refs.
But what I like about him,
he's a wind-up.
He's a wind-up merchant, and I like a wind-up merchant. I like players like that who've got a little bit of a dirty side to it, a bit gritty, dirty side, and personality off the ice, on the ice.
Yeah.
Again, going back to it, it's a bit like a Mike Kennedy. He could get in your ear and wind you up, get in your head in the game. And that's what Hurd is very good at doing to the fans, to the opposition. So I'd probably say out of them two, I'd have to go Pearson there. I'd have to go from Pearson.
Fair enough.
Panthers, man. Got a good player.
I'm torn between three, and it's just because these three. I've obviously mentioned Cutler earlier. I just think he's a character.
Yeah.
He can score goals if you need him to score goals. He can obviously throw his weight around. He can fight if he needs to fight.
Mm-hmm.
There was that thing a few weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it with the Cardiff Devils fan. Supposedly he called a.
Oh yeah. Yes.
And I was like, how do you know it was aimed at you?
Yeah.
Unless you were doing something to him to make him react to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've actually spoken to Cutler briefly one of the games, I think when they beat us nearer the start of the season. And he's a sound guy off the ice. He's one of them that on the ice.
Yeah.
Off the ice, he's a safe
I know what you're saying, yeah.
So I can't imagine he would do something unless something's antagonising. But that's again off the subject. But he's. I'm going to pick a 3 and then I'm going to go for my actual one to pick. So he would be 1. I like that Hembrandt from Panthers. He wears 98.
He's a good player, yeah.
And the reason I like him is bit of a obviously you were meant to come to this. We obviously got tickets through my son's school free of charge from Nottingham Panthers to go to the Continental Cup. I mean, where there's the game on the Friday night. I think I messaged you and said there was not a single penalty throughout the whole game, and then Hembrandt got binned.
Really?
For a nothing call. The referee, there was calls in the first and second period. The referee could have called and everybody would have gone, yeah, that was that. That was a slash. That was a trip. That was this. That was that.
Yeah.
Nothing calls because it's a semi-final. It was not a semi-final, sorry. Or was it? I can't remember. But it was basically...
Was it a quarter?
No, so I think whoever won that game was going to the final anyway. But effectively, I think it was the last group game, and Panthers won. They were in the final because they had the best overall record of that group. Anyway, I might be wrong. But the point I'm going back to is he got booked. He got binned for something, and he wasn't happy about it. And you could tell he wasn't happy. And me and Jen, the wife, turned around and went, "He ain't happy." And Jen said, "What would you do now?" I said, "The best thing you can do right now is come out and score a goal."
Yeah.
First thing he did, if you go watch the highlights of that game, it was against the Polish team, I believe. I can't remember what they're called now. He comes out the bin, comes out the sin bin, picks up the puck, straight in and scores. And I was like, that is your answer. I literally turned to Jen and went,
there you go.
You said, what would I do in that situation? Not that I can do that, I'm just putting that out there. But what would I do is the perfect answer to that. I said, jump out and score. And he did exactly that. And I think just that mental ability to be pissed off in the moment.
Yeah.
Settle yourself down in your 2 minutes, great, and come out and go and score the goal.
Yeah.
And the celebration as well was if say, we can do that again.
Come on then, yeah.
They were well away at that point. I don't think they had anything again. I don't think they conceded that game. They kept the shutout. But he's just one of them. But I think he's tricky on the puck. He's fast. He can move around. He can give it as much as he can take it. But I don't know what his stats are like this year. I think he's only got something like 11 or 12 goals. He's not loads. He's not a main scorer, but he can pop up in the decisive moment and score a goal. And he's a Continental Cup winner, so
why not?
Why not? So that'd be another one that's of my three.
Yeah.
But you can't not look around the top goal scorer at the moment, and that's Bolmus from Sheffield.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't really argue with that, can you?
And I've pulled his stats up: 35 games, 24 goals, 23 assists, 47 points.
That's pretty damn good, isn't it?
Pretty damn good. It is pretty damn good. And then so is Josh McDonald. 19.
Josh McDonald's always been a good player.
19 and 14. So that's probably more on par where you'd look for. But I think this year, Mitchell Bolmus is just like the one that's out there that's just like running away with it.
Can't really argue with that.
And I think he's phenomenal.
Fair play to him on that.
So if I had to pick between the three, if I was basing it on crowd pleaser, it would probably be Hembrandt. If I was basing it on a character, it's Cutler.
Yeah.
But if I'm basing it on I need somebody to come and score
goals, you're going to get
Bolmus,
him. Yeah, of course you are.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, true.
So that's who I would bring in at that moment in time. So that's kind of like where we had. That's what we've got, really.
Did we answer that question from a fan?
No, we haven't. No, I've got it up. That's why I've got it up. So we did put it out there yesterday on our social media. Obviously, I'm doing a video today. Any questions? I don't know if fans weren't aware of what we were saying at, so I did put it out again this morning before recording this, and we've had one come back. I don't know obviously the real name, it's just got their tag. So TRGZ_Ollie08, so I'm assuming his name's Ollie.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think of Kim Tolberg's new defensive role in the Blaze this season?
Well, we kind of covered that, haven't we? And wow, it's working.
It's working.
It's working. So I'm going to have no complaints.
No, it's definitely
it's working. I think he's putting in a shift at the end of the day.
He's been asked to do a job because there was a period of time where we were short. You had Sourceman out. I think Chukarov and Russell will rotate in as well.
Yeah.
So I think you're only real recognised D-man at that point. I think
we've had a conversation with him actually and saying like there's times where you've had to do this and how you feel.
He was on the episode.
He was on and he literally said, you know what, I'm prepared to do what I need to do.
Yeah,
it's my job
to do what I need to for.
And he's actually pretty. He's producing pretty. I think he's been playing pretty well. And to be fair, he's actually making me feel like, can you just stay in that position for me at the moment? Because if it's working, it's working.
Yeah.
And that's why I said going back to that earlier. Like, I don't really want to change much. If it's going well, let's just
and
let's not change as much.
That's I don't know obviously what is up with Archie Hazelden.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure obviously if it is a major injury, a minor injury, or if it's just let's just give him the time to get over whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I think having Kimmy playing the way that he's playing at the moment has allowed us to be that little bit more flexible.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I say, if you'd have rolled it back to December, you had Sourceman out, you had Chukarov out, you had Russell kind of rotating in and out.
Considering we had Sourceman out though, we did all right.
Yeah, we did do all right. And that run of form was whilst he was out as well.
Yeah.
We were missing him at that point. And you've got to think of it as the only real recognisable D-men at that particular point was Virtanen, who's new to the league.
Yeah.
And probably like the senior on the team. Clements, obviously, had been here for a long, long time, 11 years now. A senior on the team, and an Archie.
Yeah.
And then you had Kimmy going back there at one point. You were rotating in Russell or Chukarov as your 50 man. And then I think even Mackenzie was covering and Hopper was covering.
Mackenzie was, yeah.
But now we've got them all back.
Did you see Mackenzie take to go for a little scrap the other day? And he lost it. It wasn't last week. It wasn't against Storm. Who was it?
Do you mean the week before?
Yeah. And I thought,
I've never 5.
I think it was 5. Mackenzie kind of got a bit feisty and went, hey, that's what I like.
They didn't have a fight as such. Something had happened. I think.
But he still got involved.
Yeah, he got involved.
And I was like,
he was ready to go.
I was like, I like this. This is brilliant. And he's such a nice guy. And I thought, yeah, I love seeing this side of him.
He's so chilled out, Zane.
I love him. such a great guy, and to see that side of him, I like it. I really liked it. So fair play to him.
And that's what we were saying. I remember it, and I think at that point we'd run away with the game anyway, and they weren't happy because obviously we were blowing them out, and Booth was probably upset because we were wearing Pride jerseys, and Lucic was probably upset because he couldn't hit his wife.
But no, I think to end it, I want to mention Power.
Austin Power.
Austin Power.
Is his name Austin Power?
Austin Powers.
His name's not Austin Powers. Jordan Powers.
Yeah, no, I thought we were talking about Austin Powers there for a minute then. You said Austin.
I was going to do the Austin Powers, the name Power. Austin Power.
Oh, I thought you were changing the subject.
No, I was going to do that and then say, well, no,
what?
No, I knew where I was going.
I thought you were changing the subject, talking about movies when you said Austin Power.
No. I was going to do a funny transition. Jordan Power.
He, again, what a difference he's made.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, he's becoming one of my favourites at the moment.
Yeah.
He puts in a bloody shift. And this is where I was a bit unsure where we were going for our man of the matches.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to say Jordan again because he just stands out for me. Like, I see him, he's everywhere. He's a machine. He's all over the place. But then there's a couple of things where I go, there maybe you could have done a bit better there.
Yeah.
There's a couple of moments in the game where I was like, actually. But then Barriga really stepped up for me on that game. So I had to go with Barriga. And not only that, he should have, in my opinion, got the man of the match in that game.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
I get it. Like, Mishmash had, two assists?
Yeah, and he got the game winner and stuff.
Game winner in overtime. So I understand why they'd give it to him.
Yeah.
But you just think we wouldn't have been in that position had it not been for Barriga. But then again, Mishmash was the assister on both of the Barriga goals. So it kind of swings both ways. And you can go, well, actually, I could give it to him or I could give it to him. They're both well deserving. And I don't know if the Blaze do this, but I know they do, obviously. If you ever watch the NHL documentaries in the room, obviously they have 3 stars.
They give out
their own their players player.
I know, like the Rangers, they give out like a cowboy hat.
I think the Blackhawks used to give out a wrestling belt that CM Punk
kind of what we're doing with our player of the season.
And I don't know if the Blaze do that, but maybe Barriga picked it up from them on the inside. Maybe the man of the match has to pick it, because that's what we used to do in our team. Obviously, you got your man of the match, which was picked up by the other teams when we played hockey, and that man of the match in the room, you'd have your little, not that it was like official, but you'd have like talk about the game, and then it'd be like, right, man of the match, who's your player's player?
Yeah.
We'd give out, at that point, it was like a little green, like construction helmet. I played for the Spitfires, so they had the Spitfires logo on it and what have you, which I thought was a bit weird. I said we should have had like a World War II fighter helmet. Like, one of those little... That would have been that fits with the team, but hey.
But no, I think that's it for that episode.
Yeah.
So don't forget to follow Danny on his little TikTok page on Danny's_Blaze.
Danny_Blaze World on TikTok. I'm just going to bring it up to make sure I've definitely got that right now. So it's definitely Danny_Blaze World.
So don't forget to give Danny a follow.
Danny_Blaze World. Yeah, definitely.
He had to check his phone to see his own tag.
Yeah, just because I don't really give it out that much. I don't really shout it out that much.
Well, we have now. We can shout it out. So don't forget to like this video, follow, and subscribe.